Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's me who got to the airport a little late this morning, and I was abandoned. Everybody went flying without me. So I'm gonna go up and cruise around for a little. While you watch this, this is a whole new series of videos I'm planning on making, more related to the cost of aircraft themselves. So I'll find an aircraft, give you the specs, tell you how much it could cost or how much the one that I see costs, and make an evaluation from there. And if I get the chance, I'll take you along for a ride on those given aircraft. So stick around. Don't forget to tell others about the channel. I appreciate all those who are subscribers, and do hit that reminder to let you know when other videos come out. So let's get to it while I go flying.
We begin our first episode of Aviation and Money with a focus on the Glasair II. For those of you who follow the channel, you've already seen me go up in this very plane, and even saw me go upside down in it. But today we review the numbers for an airplane that has a price tag of about $100,000. Let's begin by me telling you that this is a kit plane. That's right, you either build one of these or buy it from someone who's built it. But more about that later in this video. So what do we get for a little more than $100,000? Well, cool gull wing doors for one. And no, they aren't designed by Tesla. The Glasair II first flew in 1989, and Tesla was definitely not around back then. This retractable gear Glasair has a wheelbase of just a little over 9 feet, a 21-foot length, and a height of just about 6.5 feet tall, along with a 10-foot horizontal stabilizer. The wing is an interesting one when it comes to home-built aircraft. It has a 27-foot span and is a single solid piece. That's right, passengers sit on a fully enclosed wing. This particular model sports a 3-blade MT propeller, which would set you back roughly $14,000 to $17,000 at today's prices. You could save a few bucks and maybe get a little more speed with a 2-blade propeller for approximately $12,000. So what's under the hood? A Lycoming IO360. That baby, brand new, will set you back about $30,000 to $37,000 based on a Lycoming 2020 price list. Time to see what's inside. Let's start with seating. As you can see, this is built for two, with some space in the back for some gear for those longer outings that take you away from home for an extended period of time. I did find this plane to be quite spacious. It's actually the same 42-inch width as my Lancer, but for some reason it just felt roomier. There's definitely more legroom space, but possibly due to the nose wheel well being in a different location on the Glasair compared to my Lancer. Both the Lancer and Glasair have a permanent slightly reclined seating setup. I did find, however, that the Glasair had a little too much recline for my taste. If you are liking this video so far and want to see more, don't forget to hit the like button. And please do subscribe if you haven't already done so. And don't forget to tell a friend about us. Now, on to the panel. Let's see what $100,000 paid for a few years back. As we can see, it's not an all-glass panel, so that always saves you some money, until you begin to look at other planes and get that panel envy syndrome working against you. The standard instruments, or steam gauges as some like to call them, will set you back about $3,200. The EIS in this plane is Aviation Microsystems, which no longer exists in its current form since the company was bought out by JP Instruments a while back. So an equivalent EIS would go for about $3,000 with all the bells, wiring, and whistles, I estimate. Let's add about $400 for the OAT, $400 for the fuel flow meter, and $160 for the digital clock timer. Of course, let's not forget about the fancy compass that'll set you back another $480. The more modern instrument in this plane is the oh-so-cool Avionics AV30 primary flight display. This will set you back about $1,600 for the experimental aircraft model, which I'm assuming is installed in this plane. If you have to go for the certified model, it sets you back about $2,000. Let's round off the instrument package by adding the intercom system, the transponder, radio, and GPS, for a total of $4,995. The GPS in this plane is a simple Garmin 196, which is difficult to come by, but I assume you could find the Garmin 296 on the used market somewhere. Also, there's a PS Engineering PM1000, which is a mono unit designed for 4 headsets and not really required here, so you can probably bring down the price by getting maybe a stereo unit at a lesser cost. Lastly, the radio is an older unit, and we could replace that with something newer, which is reflected in my pricing as well. Time to look at the performance numbers. If you've been following the channel, you already know that this plane can go upside down without a problem. It has even done loops, but I wasn't going to be on board for that demonstration. With a structural load limit of +6 -4G, I'm sure she can do a few other things as well. But how fast can she go? This particular model, with 180 horsepower, is expected to have a top speed of 207 knots at sea level and a never exceed speed of 226 knots. A typical 75% cruise at 8,000 feet, one could expect an approximate 192 knot speed. You would see that climb to altitude at a rate of 2,700 feet per minute if you were flying solo, and at 1,700 feet per minute if you were at maximum gross weight. With a fuel consumption average of 9.2 gallons per hour and a 62-gallon standard wing capacity, you're looking at quite a few hours of fun, fast flying. Assuming your bladder can take the 6 or more hours of flight time, of course. There is an 8-gallon header tank, as well as the possibility of adding optional wingtip extension tanks, which could add another 11 gallons of fuel. That's a whopping total of 81 gallons of fuel. Of course, that extra fuel would affect your maximum gross weight, which sits at 2,100 pounds or 2,200 pounds with optional wingtip extensions. The typical empty weight for this plane is about 1,350 pounds. For a fast plane, the Glasair II has great stall characteristics as well. More of a slight change in attitude than a stall as per my personal experience in this plane. Stall speed at no flaps is 70 knots compared to 63 knots with flaps extended. All around, the Glasair II is a great plane. We mentioned at the beginning of this video that this was a kit plane. In the US, this plane lists in the experimental category, which is the equivalent to amateur built in Canada. Unless you find a Glasair II that's already built and flying, you would need to pick up a kit that was already started but never completed somewhere. Although the latest news from the company that sold the Glasair makes mention that the new management is working on supporting these aircraft, I couldn't find a price list suggesting they currently sell any of these kits. I did find a 2018 posting that mentions what a kit may have cost in 2018. If anyone out there has further details on this, please do post in the comments below. In the meantime, the price of a complete Glasair II kit in the list I found totals $93,000. Based on that value alone, you can see that the current model at a purchase price of $100,000 was a great deal. Hope you've enjoyed the first edition of Aviation and Money. Stay tuned for more episodes, and thanks for watching.